Title: Her so-called alpha lover slapped me in front of my wife and kids, bragging that he was the new man in charge. 30 minutes later, paramedics. The slap echoed louder than it should have, not because of the sound, but because of what it meant. My wife's sharp inhale, my children's wide, unblinking eyes, and his smug grin, standing there, chest puffed, declaring himself the new man in charge. He called himself her alpha, said it like a badge of honor, said it right in my house. That was his first mistake. He wasn't a stranger, he was a family friend, a man I'd invited into my home more times than I can count, shared meals, shared laughter, even trusted him enough to let my kids call him uncle. He lingered too long in conversations with her, joked in ways that weren't really jokes. I told myself I was imagining it. After all, what kind of man poisons the hand that feeds him? But betrayal doesn't shout, it whispers, slowly, patiently, until one day it walks in through your front door bold enough to slap you across the face. I saw the messages first, buried deep in her phone, hidden in a folder named Bills. The irony almost made me laugh. I read their exchanges, the promises, the secret meetings, the cruel jokes about me. They thought I was blind. They thought I was weak. But I didn't rage. I didn't scream. I sat in silence, reading every line, memorizing every date, every plan, every dirty detail. That night, I looked at her sleeping next to me, pretending to be loyal, and something inside me shifted. Not broken, not shattered, just sharpened. I started watching, recording, saving. Cameras in the living room, a recorder in the car, bank statements copied, phone logs mirrored. Every move they made, I collected like chess pieces. I even changed my will, moved assets into accounts she couldn't touch. If they wanted to replace me, they'd inherit nothing but debt and disappointment. I kept smiling, kept playing the fool. Every yes dear, every handshake with him, every fake laugh at their inside jokes was me writing the script of their downfall. When he slapped me that day, in front of my wife and kids, I felt no pain, only clarity. He thought humiliation would break me. Instead, it gave me the stage I needed. I didn't raise my hand back. I didn't yell. I only looked at my children, nodded, and walked into the kitchen. 30 minutes, that's all it took. Because everything was ready. The security feed from the cameras streamed live to my laptop, which was already mirrored to my neighbor's Wi-Fi. Evidence, safe, stored, and time-stamped. The knife block wasn't my weapon. My silence was. The call I made wasn't to the police. It was to him. His wife. Yes, he had one. The woman he swore he'd divorced. The woman who still had her name on his mortgage. The woman who didn't know about his little alpha games with mine. I sent her everything. Screenshots, videos, the works. By the time the knock came at my door, he wasn't laughing anymore. He stood there, trembling, while his wife screamed in his face, tearing into every filthy secret he thought he'd hidden. My wife, my so-called partner, sat on the couch pale as ash, realizing she wasn't clever. She was caught. He lunged at me then, blind with rage, desperate to reclaim the power he thought he had. That was his second mistake, because I was ready. He swung first. I let him. I let his knuckles glance off my jaw, just enough for the witnesses to see. And then I answered. Once. Clean. Direct. A punch that dropped him flat onto the hardwood floor. The paramedics were called. His wife made the call herself, voice cracking, begging them to hurry. My kids didn't cry. They just stared at me, eyes wide, processing what real strength looked like. He left in an ambulance. My wife left with her bags. And I sat at the dinner table, alone but not broken, calm. They thought betrayal had made me weak. They thought humiliation had destroyed me. But betrayal doesn't break a man like me. It builds him, sharpens him, teaches him patience. When the house was quiet again, I poured myself a drink, looked into the glass, and whispered, "Alpha? No, just the last mistake you'll ever make." And for the first time in months, I smiled.